another yoga video on my YouTube channel. My name is Hannah. Welcome. Today we're going to be working on some hip openers. Got a nice little flow for you guys. Just take it as much as you need to, like take those stretches as deep as you can, but don't try and push it, okay? Props wise, you're going to need a mat, you're going to need yourself, and you might need a strap. You don't necessarily need one, it's just an option. And if you like to have like a blanket for your shavasana, or maybe some cushioning for your knees or anything like that, then you'll need one of those. Just thinking, also you might want to have a brick handy, okay? Nice and organised me. If you want, you may not need one. If you have a brick, don't worry about it. So hip openers, we'll start with our hips open, surprise. So we'll come down into Supta Baddha Konasana. So lying yourself down on your back, bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out to the sides. And then from here, just draw your arms back behind you, maybe take a hold of one hand and the other, and just relax here. Start to take your breath nice and deep. And as you're lying here, whilst your hips are nice and open, maybe start to notice any sensations that are making themselves known to you. So are you starting to feel it in those hip flexors? Or maybe something else is going on. Start to notice. A lot of the time in yoga, we kind of say that our hips carry emotions, and remember when I first kind of heard this from a teacher, I was like, what on earth does that even mean? Like, how can our hips carry our emotions? For me, now that I know a little bit more about the body and also just how our energy levels and our emotions work, it does make total sense, because our hips are kind of like the junction between our legs and our upper body. There are so many muscles, tendons, ligaments that are involved in the hip structure. And you've got some really big, strong muscles there, like your psoas, for example, is a mega muscle, and it's not just a hip flexor, but it's also to do with the core. And when we get stressed, which I don't know about you, but for me it's quite regularly, our muscles actually tighten because we go into this sense of fight or flight. You know, when that lion is running at you and we were back in the Stone Ages, that fight or flight would have helped you to save your life. But now what it does is when we get stressed by delayed public transport, or at work with a project with an imminent deadline, we go into that state of fight or flight, and our muscles get ready to be able to run away or to be able to fight, and then we don't do anything with it, okay? So we always have these constant little stresses building up inside of us, and as a result, our muscles get tense, they get tight, they get sore. Okay guys, now that my random spiel about our hips is over, start to draw the hands just the outsides of the thighs, and then really slowly just start to bring those legs up together, and then draw the knees into the chest. Oh man, my hips feel very tight. I didn't even vote for this. You guys on Instagram voted for a hip opening sequence. Clearly I need it, so it's all good. Alright, maybe start to take a gentle sway from side to side here. Just getting into the lower back as well. Often, if your lower back is really tight, it could actually be to do with your hip flexors. You know, it's all connected. It might not be your hip flexors, but it could be. Alright, and then from here, just slowly start to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to go through some seated cat-cow. So as opposed to being on all fours, we'll come into a a comfortable sitting position. Bring your hands onto the top of your knees, and actually it might be better if I face sideways so you can see my spine. So bring your hands on top of your knees. As you inhale, tailbone comes back, lower rib cage starts to pull forward, shoulder blades draw back, and then maybe your gaze starts to just gently come towards the ceiling. Exhale, tuck that tailbone, bring the spine through, round the shoulders, chin comes down. Inhale, draw everything back and through, coming into your cow pose. Exhale, take it all forwards. Inhale, draw shoulders back. Exhale, forwards. Inhale. And exhale. Take 2 more rounds, moving with your own breath here. So connect in with that breath. Move with your inhale and move with your exhale. Make your breath and your movement one united thing. Alright, final exhale, pushing that spine back, and then start to come back to seated, and then place both hands down onto the mat, tuck toes, and just start to come back into a downward facing dog. Either coming straight to stillness, maybe having some movement here if you feel like you need it. Start to engage your Ujjayi breath, that constriction at the back of the throat, breathing in and out through the nose, if you want to practice with it, knowing that you don't always have to. Alright, inhale here, and exhale. Next inhale now, bring gaze towards those hands, lift the heels, start to walk the feet forwards, coming into your Uttanasana. Keep your feet about hip distance apart here. If you want to straighten the legs, then you can. Maybe you prefer to have a bit of a bend. Relax the neck and just stay down here in your forward fold. Option to grab hold of opposite elbows. Maybe you want to take some movement from side to side. Just doing whatever you need to do, guys. Remember, this is always your practice, okay? You have so many options with every single asana that we do, okay? So just find what feels good. Okay, slowly start to release the hands down towards the mat now. Make sure you have a slight bend of the knees, and then super slowly, keeping your head heavy, start to roll all the way up to stand. Draw the shoulders up around the ears, roll them back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift those shoulders. Exhale, draw them back. Okay guys, so now draw hands together, Anjali Mudra. Bring those toes to touch the top of the mat and just close the eyes down. Bring your awareness now into how you are feeling. So not your physical body, but you. Your emotions, maybe your soul, whatever you connect with, whatever that idea of you that you have, check in. So how are you feeling today? Maybe you're feeling amazing and having a great week. Maybe it's more tipping in the other direction. Whatever it is, just tune in. Try not to have any negative or positive emotions towards those feelings. I just want you to really recognize whatever is going on with you right now. Okay, as we are dealing with the hips, I'd like you to dedicate this practice to yourself. So just start to feel an idea of love towards yourself. Maybe this is really easy for you to do, or maybe it's a little bit harder. It doesn't matter. So in your own way, start to bring about a real feeling of admiration and love towards yourself. Okay, one more breath here. Okay, next inhale, open the eyes, start to lift the hands all the way up above your head. Exhale, folding at the hips, start to come down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. Exhale to plant hands, step back to your high plank. Holding here, engage Uddiyana Bandha, so lift that belly button up. towards the spine. Also engage Mula Bandha, so engaging the perineum. And then start to drop knees, untuck toes. Press yourself all the way down into the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, up dog or cobra, just cobra even. And then tuck toes, press back, downward facing dog. One breath here. Next, inhale, bring gaze towards hands, and then just walk or step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring hands all the way up, rise to stand. Exhale, draw hands down to heart center. Roll shoulders back, check in with those two bandhas. Next, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, we fold. Inhale to sit back, Uttanasana, chair pose, lengthening tailbone down towards the mat, knitting that belly button in, relaxing the shoulders. One more breath. Inhale, exhale, fold. Halfway lift with the inhale. Exhale to plant hands, step back to your high plank. Either drop knees or come through full chaturanga. Exhale to come down. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, start to lift up the right leg. Exhale to draw the foot down between the hands. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Start to draw that Start to draw that left hip in a little bit, just so that your hips are square. We have a tendency to just allow that left hip to open a little bit, so just close it off. Lift those arms, relax the neck muscles. Inhale here. And exhale, take both hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, start to lift up the left leg. Exhale, plant foot between hands. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. Let's see if I can get my sides right this time. With that right hip, start to draw it forwards. Both hips tracking towards the front of the room. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to drop hands. Step back to your high plank. Move through your vinyasa with your own breath. So as you exhale, come down through your chaturanga. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, tuck toes, push back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, bring gaze between the hands, either walk, step, or lightly land forwards, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen that spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, take hands above the head. Exhale, draw them down to heart center. We roll shoulder blades back, shine that chest forwards. Alright, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, either step or jump back to chaturanga. So coming down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alright, from here, start to lift up the right leg. Keeping your shoulders square towards the mat. Bend that knee, bring the right heel towards the bum. Stack open that right hip. Holding here. Really breathe into that right hip. Okay, option to stay here, or start to take that right foot all the way back behind you. Lift that right hand coming into a flip dog. Lifting that chest nice and high. And then start to bring that right hand back down to the mat. Lift that right leg. And then draw the right foot down between the hands. Inhale, high crescent lunge. One breath here. Exhale, drop the back heel, open up, warrior two. Take a look down at that front knee and just check that you can see your big toe, your first toe, I don't know the names of toes, so the index finger version of your toe and your middle toe. If you can't see them, externally rotate that front thigh so your knee starts to draw outwards slightly, okay? Alright, from here, start to reach forward with that right hand, flip the palm, reverse the warrior back. Inhale, lift a little taller. Exhale, maybe come down a little deeper. One more breath here. Okay, start to come back to your warrior two. Coming into extended side angle now, so bring left, right forward. We're coming into extended side angle now, so start to bring right forearm down to the right thigh, take that left arm down, and then start to lift the left arm alongside that ear. Option to stay here, or maybe take your bind. So with the bind, the left arm comes round first, reach that right arm down underneath that right leg, holding here. One more breath. Take both hands down either side of that front foot. Step the right foot back. Come down through your vinyasa flow. Meeting back, downward facing dog. Okay, start to lift up the left leg. Bring the left heel towards the bum, stacking open the hip. Remember, checking with the shoulders. Breathing here. Option to stay here, or maybe you start to take that left foot all the way down. Come into your wild thing. Lengthening that right leg as straight as you can. Holding here. And then start to take that left hand back down onto the mat and extend the left leg back behind you, and then draw that foot down between the hands. Oh God, it's really hard to talk and do wild thing at the same time. Lift the arms. Inhale. Exhale, we drop back heel, warrior two. And again, check in with that front knee. So if you need to draw that left thigh outward slightly, then go for it. Lengthen those arms away from you. Gaze is over that front hand. And then we reach forwards, flip the palm, reverse the warrior. One more breath. Warrior two. Extended side angle, left forearm, left thigh, sweep that right arm down. Inhale to lift the arm. Coming into your extended side angle. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Okay guys, options to take that bind here if you want to. Try to keep that right shoulder really drawing back. One more breath. And then release those hands down. Step back to your high plank. Drop the knees. Move through your vinyasa flow. Meeting back, downward facing dog. Alright, from here, start to lift up the right leg. Exhale, draw that foot down between the hands. Inhale, rise high, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop back heel, warrior two. From here, straighten up that front leg. Find some lift through the core. Reach forwards with the right hand, keeping those hips where they are. So upper body reaches forwards, and then start to rotate that right hand down, coming into your Trikonasana, lifting that left hand. Gaze could be down with that front foot, or maybe start to lift it up towards that top hand. If you have neck problems here, you could do a little forest yoga thingy with your neck, which basically just means hang your head. Not in shame, but just in relaxation. I'm going to do that because my neck's a bit sore. One more breath. Okay, we're moving into half moon here. So start to bend into that front leg. Maybe bring left hand onto the left hip. Reach forwards with that right hand. If you have a brick, bring your brick down. Otherwise, hand comes down into the mat. Start to step that left leg and lift it all the way up. When you feel like you have your balance, you can lift that left hand. So here your hips are aiming to be open, but if your hips are closed, then it's all good, okay? No worries if they're closed, just as long as you have that balance, okay? Option to start taking gaze over to your left, maybe even lifting it up towards that top hand. One more breath. Okay, take the left hand down now, close the hips, okay, so don't keep that hip popping open, close it down, relax the crown of the head towards the mat, standing split. And then let's step the left foot down next to the right, and come into a forward fold. Okay, from here, slight bend of the knees, keep the head heavy, slowly start to rise all the way up to standing. And stand yourself up nice and tall. Rolling those shoulders back. Okay, from here, take the left hand onto your from here, keep your right hand on your right hip, and then with your left hand, just bring the left leg in towards the chest, and then see how you feel about taking peace fingers around that big toe. From here, we're going to start lengthening that leg out away from us. If this is a complete no-go for you, don't even worry about it. Options, take hands underneath the left knee, or if you have a strap, like the cord from a dressing gown, you can use a strap. So I'll do the strap demo, just so that you guys watching know you have that option. Otherwise, peace fingers around that big toe, or maybe just hold on to the back of your thighs, all the same. Just the strap is super useful. So if you're taking the strap option, middle of the strap comes around the middle of the foot. Take the strap in that left hand, extend that leg away from you, keep the right hand on the right hip. Everyone, make sure that left shoulder is plugging down into your shoulder girdle, okay? So don't allow that shoulder to be forward, pull it back in. Everyone inhale. Exhale, start to open that leg out to the left. Option to just stay gazing forwards. Maybe start to reach that right hand away from you. And then maybe you can take the gaze over to the right as well. One more breath. Okay, start to draw that leg back to center. Return right hand to right hip if you extended your arm. And then just slowly lower that left foot down. Release your strap. Give yourself a bit of a shake if you need to. Okay, from here now, start to lift the hands.
Exhale to fold. We're going to float it all the way back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, come back to your high plank. Move through your vinyasa. Okay, start to lift up the left leg. And then draw that foot down between the hands. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, drop back heel, warrior two. Start to straighten that front leg. Find that little lift. Reach forwards with the left hand. Rotate down. Utthita Trikonasana. Again, you have those neck options. I'm stealing that forest yoga thing. But you just relax your head down. Feel like, what on earth is forest yoga? Don't worry. It's not yoga, it's practice in the forest, which I originally thought it was. One more breath. Okay. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Start to bend into that front leg. Maybe right hand comes onto that right hip. Left hand comes down onto the mat or onto a block. And then you start to lift that right leg. Maybe you take that right arm all the way up. Hold in here. And then start to take that right hand down. Standing split, remember, close the hip. And then step that right foot down next to the left. Releasing down into a forward fold. And then nice and slowly start to roll all the way up to stand. And then we're coming into our Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Extended hand to foot bound pose, something like that. Just testing my Sanskrit. All you need to know is you're balancing on your left foot, okay guys? So start to bring your weight onto that left foot. Maybe left hand comes onto left hip. Remember, either option to hold that knee, maybe bring peace fingers around that big toe, or grab your strap, extend that foot out away from you, keep that right shoulder drawing back into its socket, and then start to take that right leg out. Again, option to maybe extend that left hand out to the side, and maybe take your gaze over to the left. One more breath. And then start to draw that leg back to center, place that hand back on the hip, and then release the foot all the way down. Okay guys, right, let's go. Inhale, lift those hands. Okay guys, going back down. Inhale to lift the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands. Step back to your high plank. This time, just push back to a downward facing dog. We're going to do a little bit of stretching now. So, start to bring the right foot to the outside edge of that right hand, coming into your lizard pose. So, keep that spine extending, so try not to round. Try to keep those shoulders drawing back. And then just stay up here for a little bit, okay? Nice gentle rock backwards and forwards. And then you can drop that back knee, maybe untap the back toes. You can start to work on coming down onto your forearms maybe. Or you can bring a brick underneath your forearms. Just start to figure out the expression of this pose that works for you. Option, Also, to lift those toes up towards the ceiling and then maybe start to open that hip out to the right hand side. One more breath. And then start to close that hip up. If you opened it, and then tuck under back toes, we'll step back, downward facing dog. Alright, moving on to the other side, start to bring that left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Stay up off that back knee just for now. Nice little rock, backwards and forwards. And then maybe you drop that back knee. And then you have all those options, so just try to find your lizard, whatever is working for you. And maybe notice if there are any differences on this side compared to the other. This hip feels a lot more open and not quite as sore for me. That's because I hurt my hip flexor on the other side, so that makes sense. But remember that our bodies, even though it's like one thing, can be so different from side to side. It's interesting when you take a moment to just look. One more breath. And then slowly start to come back, tuck under those back toes. And then from here, just walk your hands all the way forwards and just bring yourself down to a comfortable seated position, okay? We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold, so take the legs as wide as they comfortably go. Try not to strain too much. And then from here, inhale, lift the spine nice and tall. Try to keep that spine as straight as you can. Start to reach those hands forwards, and maybe you're here. Maybe that's as far as you need to go. Or maybe just start to lean a little bit further forwards. Having a mirror next to you is very helpful because you can actually see if your spine is straight or not. And then just relax that head a little bit so it stays as an extension of the spine. I'm going to hold here for 3 nice juicy breaths. So get those inhales coming in nice and deep. And now slowly just allow your spine to round forwards, relaxing the neck. Next inhale, slowly start to roll all the way up to seated. Okay guys, we are very nearly done. Draw the soles of the feet together here. We're just coming into the final hip opening forward fold. So keep your legs quite like a nice big diamond shape. Don't bring those feet too close to the groin. If your knees feel uncomfortable, you can always prop them up with blocks or maybe some pillows or cushions. And then all you're going to do is allow the spine to round forwards. Maybe release those hands down to the mat. And just come down into a passive forward fold. As you're resting here, just start to bring your awareness onto the most obvious feeling you have in this pose. Where can you feel this pose the most? Start to notice. Is it down the sides of your legs? Is it the lower back? Where is it? And then see if you can find the second most obvious thing that you feel in this posture. Where is that? Where's that second thing? And then start to notice the third. Can you find it? Can you find that third thing?
Don't worry if you can't, but just notice, try and look for it. Become super aware of every feeling you have in your body. One more breath here. And then nice and slowly just start to rise all the way up. Seeing if you can keep your feet together in that Baddha Konasana shape, angle. Just slowly start to round the spine and roll all the way down to seated. We're coming into our Shavasana now, so option to keep the legs in your Baddha Konasana, so as they are soles together. If that's too much in the hips, feel free to bring the knees up or maybe lengthen the arms out, lengthen the legs out even, and then start to allow the arms just rest down by the sides. Close the eyes down. Start to allow your breath to just be nice and natural. And wherever you feel tightness or tension right now, imagine that as you inhale, all of that oxygen, that life force, that prana is going down into that area where you feel that tension. And it's doing its magic when it gets there, and then as you exhale, it's just releasing all of that tension out into the world. So inhale, bring in some light, some energy. Exhale, release it all out. Use your breath. Make it a tool. One more breath. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into your body now, taking some small movement through the fingers and through the toes. And then in your own time, start to draw those things together. And then bring them into the chest. And then from here, just allow yourself to fall all the way down onto your right hand side. Keeping those knees really curling up in towards the chest. Don't open the eyes just yet. Relaxing the entire weight of your body down into the mat. And then from here, keep those eyes closed, but press the hands down into the mat. And just rise up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands together at heart center. Lengthen the spine, lift the crown of the head. Now from here, place your right hand down on top of your heart, and then place the left hand on top of that. Bring yourself back to that feeling of self-love, to dedicating your practice to yourself. Maybe have a quick think and see if there's a way that you can bring this idea of dedication to you, dedication to yourself, this idea of just loving yourself into your everyday life. Where can you be a little bit more kinder, a little bit more grateful to you? Bring that love, that awareness, that respect that we have for the people around us that we love in our lives into yourself. Take a moment to thank your body for its practice today. Thank those hips for being willing to maybe get a little bit more open.
Thank yourself for taking the time out of your day to get on your mat, turn your laptop on, and do this flow with me. Knowing that it is tough to make ourselves do stuff, especially when you're at home, you know? Inhale, breathe in a little bit of love. Exhale, release something you don't need out into the air. And again, inhale love. Exhale tension and stress. Inhale love. Exhale darkness. Bring your hands back together at heart center, then start to bring the thumb just to gently rest against the third eye, Ajna chakra, sealing our practice. Bow the head down towards the mat. And namaste. As always, thank you so much for flowing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed it. You guys did vote for it on the old Instagram, so, you know, hopefully you liked it.